Hey foodies, it's Tiffany and I am doing a quick meal prep in my very own kitchen. I've just hit the grocery store and we've got a busy week ahead, and so I thought why not let you guys see what I'm doing and maybe give you some inspirational ideas, because if you're a part of my Foreman's Foodies groups, you know that we're already always full of recipes, tips, fun, and more. So let's get going. So per usual, this is the pack of chicken I normally buy when I go to the grocery store. Today was almost about 4.5 pounds, $1.79 at Kroger. Super easy for me. And I've decided to do two different things with this chicken today. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually just zip open the package with my kitchen shears and chunk it up, because I'm gonna put it in my quick cooker today. So one of our favorite go-to meals this time of year when things are busy is what we call barbecue chicken Sammys. So over the time that I've been doing Pampered Chef, this recipe has been made in the deep covered baker, it's been made in the Rock Crock, and so today we are going with the quick cooker. So I'm just going to chunk my chicken. I really don't care what it looks like today. I just want to kind of clean it up because I do buy the pack that has the rib meat, and so and that little bit of yucky stuff right there. So that's why I love my shears, so that I can kind of be surgical with it and get all that stuff off. I also like to get down in this little V thing here and get whatever that thing is called out. So these shears can go through chicken bone if you so desired. I just tend to use them a lot for breasts like this, and my kids really like the Sammys, so I'm gonna go heavy on the chicken for the Sammys and then use the rest for my other meal. So today I'm actually putting together 3 different meals at the same time, just because we have a busy week and everybody has to kind of eat at a different time. And so when we do have food already cooked and in the refrigerator, it makes it really easy for whenever somebody comes home and they're starving, they're hangry, maybe they need second dinner, the food is ready to go and I'm not tempted to stop through a drive-through to make everybody happy, because they're starving again, because that's just their MO, they're always hungry. All right, so I've taken 4 of the 6 chicken breasts that were in this package and just chunked them up. I'm gonna go ahead and just over to my quick cooker right here, angle you guys down right there. I've got a little bit of broth sitting in the base right here, and you always need liquid when you're using your quick cooker. So I'm just gonna drop these in here. And the liquid is what basically comes to a boil inside the quick cooker and creates the pressure to cook everything nice and fast. So gotta have some kind of liquid. Some people like to use soda for something like this. You can use broth. My children drink all the soda that I had in the house, and so that's what we're using broth today. So I've got a nice coverage of my chicken right in there, and then I'm gonna season it while it's cooking, and I'm gonna use my smoky applewood. So you can use smoky applewood, you can use the smoky barbecue, whichever one you prefer. My kids honestly have never mentioned that they have a different, so this was the first one that I grabbed. And when it comes to this, I do not measure, so you just saw me just sprinkle that in there, and that's what it looks like. It smells really barbecue-y. So we're just gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on, and you'll hear it make a little R2-D2 sound when it's ready. All right, and then that means it is ready to go. So I'm just gonna rotate the knob here to chicken, and this defaults to full pressure and 15 minutes at the chicken setting. And so I do know that at this amount of chicken is not gonna take that long. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit the time, and I'm gonna go down to 8 minutes on that and just hit start. All right, in the meantime, I need to wash this hand, but I'm also gonna start something in the microwave to get ready for one of my second dishes. And so what that is I took the rest of the broth and I put it in my 3-quart microwave cooker here, and I've got quinoa and broth in the bottom down here. And so this is actually gonna be part of a stir fry. And so I'm gonna just take this is gonna go in the microwave for 10 minutes, and then this is gonna be quick cooking for 8, and I'm gonna wash this. Well, actually, I'm not gonna wash the hand because I have to touch this chicken again, but I am gonna put this in the microwave with my clean hand. All right, so for my other dish that I would like to do, I want to just go ahead and do some grilled chicken breast. It's that time of year where I really like the taste of grilled food. but I don't want to go outside and deal with the gas grill because it's hot, cold, muggy, and buggy here in Virginia. So, and that can change all in like the span of like 3 minutes and start raining and all that stuff. So I'm just going to clean up my chicken breast again, look to see if there's any of those like funky little rib meat pieces that I don't like, fat stuff. And I have 2 beautiful chicken breasts here that are cleaned up and ready to go. I know you might be thinking, Tiffany, you're dissecting that chicken, but for what I paid for this and what I'm getting out of it, it is worth it. I don't like to pay $4.99 a pound for something that's cleaned that I can do very easily with my shears. So I've gone ahead and went through that whole entire package. This actually will slide right back in the shopping bag and will go right out to the trash. And then what we're going to do is I am going to use my chicken hand again and open up, and we're going to use our closing cut. I used to call this it's like 2 little trampolines in here so that you can line things up so it's directly in the middle. So I'm going to take my chicken breast and get it right there in the center. Now, I totally thought I'm never going to use this tool. They showed it with grape tomatoes and grapes, slicing grapes in half, and I'm thinking I'm never going to do that. If my kid ever chokes on a grape, survival of the fittest. Okay, so we're going to put the knife right here, and I fell in love with this when I saw it used on chicken breast. So as I push this down, it is going to line up this chicken breast directly in the middle because of the 2 little trampolines. So I push it all the way down. I just go back and forth with my chef's knife. You need at least a 7-inch knife to do this so that it can have the diameter to go all the way through. And now I have beautiful, too thin chicken breasts. So if you didn't want to fillet them all the way, you could butterfly them and stuff them if you wanted to. And then I'm going to do the other one. And so I've got both my chicken breasts right here ready to go. Sometimes if I'm not going to go ahead and prepare this right now, I would do all of this and then put it in the freezer. So then that way I'm ready the next time I need to make something, and it would defrost pretty quickly because they're nice and thin. If I'm going to throw them in the quick cooker, I can do that right with these when these were frozen. But this is how I get them all prepped, ready to go. I'm going to put this in the sink, wash my hand, and show you what I'm doing next. All right, so one thing that I really like to do is mix a lot of our seasonings together and make like a little spice concoction right here in my little prep bowl. So what I have mixed in here is Asian seasoning, 3 onion, bell pepper, garlic and herb, and my absolute favorite, crushed peppercorn and garlic. So I mixed equal parts of that. I just used a measuring spoon and put 1 part in each here. And then that gives me a nice, beautiful mixture of spices that I'm gonna put right on my chicken breast. And I'm just gonna do it on the one side. So we're gonna get this going like this. All right, and then that way it kind of has some garlic, it has some salt, it has some pepper, it's got some other herbs in there. The Asian gives it a little bit of a kick. Our family likes spice, so that makes it nice. And then this way, I can use this to put in a roll up and make a sandwich. I can put it on a salad, and or we can make like chicken salad with it if we wanted to. So in the meantime, while this is sitting right here, let's go ahead and we're gonna get our grill pan warm. So over here where our grill pan is on the stove top, we're going to go ahead and turn this on with the press inside. So I'm gonna turn it on like about an 8. We want the press to come to heat with the piece of cookware. That way the heat conducts from the pan into the press, and that's going to give us a nice good cook when we're using our grill pan. Because it has ridges on both sides, we'll get those beautiful grill marks without having to go outside, and it just cooks so fast and easy when we're using the grill pan and the grill press. So that's how we're going to grill our chicken here in a few. Over here you'll see that I've got my wok out, and this is how I'm going to make my stir fry. So I'm waiting on my quinoa to do that. In the meantime, let's get some vegetables ready, because we're going to need vegetables for a salad, and we're going to need vegetables for our stir fry. So I'm going to move our chicken. I have spices on my fingers. And then we are going to get our veggies ready. So this recipe is the fried quinoa, it's like a fried rice but made with quinoa. And I'm doctoring it up just a little bit because of some other things that I want to do. So first off, I'm going to use my bell pepper. And if I was only going to use half of my bell pepper today, I would recommend that you cut your bell pepper right here. Okay, This leaves your seed ball intact, and so when I put this back in the fridge, the moisture is going to go back into my seed ball and not into my pepper and make my pepper all soggy. And let's see if I have my scoop loop over here. Of course not. I wanted to use that, but I have temporarily misplaced it, and it's probably in my cooking show kit. So I'm actually going to use one of our little paring knives. This is the forge cutlery, the color-coded forge cutlery, and just take out these ribs since I left my scoop loop in the other room. So I'm just going to take out the ribs. They tend to have a bitter flavor, and so we're going to go ahead and just take those out. Now I wanted to bring out my simple slicer because our mandolin was discontinued a couple years ago, and this is the what is kind of replaced it. And I really like the fact that the mandolin has one blade but 3 thicknesses. And so today for our peppers, I'm going to do a 2 and take our pepper, and we've got our little prongs, our food holder right here. I'm going to put our pepper upside down on the food holder, and then that way the straight part is what is touching the blade. So always make sure you're using the protective guard here. Learn from my experience. I have taken a knuckle off by not following the directions. So learn from me and do what you're supposed to. So I just slice down, and I'm applying pressure to the top of the simple slicer, and it's forcing the pepper down. And now I've got beautiful rings of pepper. So some of this I want to save for a salad because we are going to have salad later on tonight. And then some of it I'm going to put in the stir fry. So I'm actually just going to haphazardly kind of chop this for our stir fry. And then that way, if children want to pick it out, they can, but it actually cooks up really nice and they should be fine. So this is going to be the part for our stir fry there. And then I am going to leave some of this pepper for later. So I'm only going to take off one of my ribs right now. And this is going to be for salad because I think I'm the only one who's going to eat it in the salad. So while I have my pepper out, I might as well slice and dice it. So when you hold our knives, you want to make sure that you're knuckling up on it. That's the proper way to hold a knife. And this is a Santoku knife, so you can see the little air pockets that are formed when you use a Santoku knife because of these divots right here. So I just kind of knuckle up on it, and I've watched enough cooking shows to see them kind of do this and slice and dice their peppers. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And I just do that. Now I could use my quick cut. I left that in the cabinet, but it's all good. So I've got pepper for my salad, or I mean for my stir fry, and pepper for my salad later on tonight. We're also going to do some carrots and broccoli, but what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to do them in our quick prep grater. So I'm actually just going to take the little butts off each of our carrots. Some of them are going to be for salad, and some of them are going to be for the stir fry. And that way we'll just do it like this. We'll do them all at the same time. And I don't even remember how many carrots the recipe originally called for, but carrot, we don't mind carrot, so we're going to go ahead and use all that. So I'm going to chunk this broccoli just a little bit. And actually with this recipe I can use all of this. I'm just trying to get the florets to kind of fall off because it's going to be sliced, and even that piece is still good. So I'm just going to chunk my florets a little bit so that they can go down in our slicer in a moment. And we'll do this one right down the center. All right, so then that will be for that. So let's check on our chicken. Come on right over here. And we've got our grill pan and grill press that has been heating up right here. So you want to make sure that safety first. So right now I can tell that there's some heat radiating off of this. Over time, the press will conduct heat up to this metal handle. Right now it is very cool to the touch, but further along in your cooking, you're going to want to make sure you have something to grab that with. So safety first, we're going to go ahead and take that off right there. And then we're going to grab our chicken breast that we had sitting over to the side, seasoned, and we're going to take it and put it seasoning side down. And you'll notice that there is no oil or anything else on this pan. I'm just doing the chicken in the seasoning. And then I'm going to take my rest of my seasoning and sprinkle it right here on my chicken. All right, and then I'm going to turn my heat down to about a 6 or 7, just because we've already got the press nice and hot, and we're just going to put the press right there. The trick is with your chicken, after a few minutes that it's on here, it would actually create a suction, and once it goes through that suction phase, and then it releases, that's when I'm gonna flip it. So when I'm at a cooking show and I have other helpers standing around, I'd ask them to grab this press in a few minutes so they can feel that. But we'll just be using our tongs to flip these in just a moment. All right, so our quinoa just microwave went off. It's got to sit for a couple minutes. In the meantime, let's do our quick grater. So that is one of our newer tools from Pampered Chef. And I want to bring it, it has a nice suction. So you have to kind of lift these feet up to move it so that it suctions to your counter. So I'm going to move it right there so you guys can see a little better. All right, so right now I have on the slicing blade. And so there are 3 different blades that you can do. So I just took the slicing one on. And then you've got your cover here, you've got your bowl here. It does have your measure marks. And then this is where you're gonna stick your food. And then you've got a plunger piece to push it down. So let's just start out with some carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and cut 3 of these because we're gonna use those for this rest, the stir fry. And I'm just going to put these in there and use my plunger piece. And then it rotates towards you, which at first might seem a little odd, but then you kind of get used to it. So again, I'll put some of these in there, the fatter carrots. These, my carrots aren't terribly big. I had a small bag of carrots. Okay. And then we're going to do our broccoli next. So I've got carrots of various sizes in there, which is fine. And we'll go ahead and do our broccoli next. So I might have to chunk my broccoli a little bit more. We'll see. All right, do this other way so you guys can see. All right, I'll just do one piece after another. Oh, I think I just made my broccoli a little too big. All right. And we just keep going along here. Oh, put that piece down in there. See, guys, this is why I say I'm pampered, not perfect. So that, you know, you don't have to be perfect in the kitchen, but Pampered Chef helps us to do things better. All right, moving these pieces right on along. I should have cut these all a little bit more. And I'm using all the parts of the broccoli. So I'm not just using the tops of the florets. I'm using the stem as well. So I'm not wasting anything, which is nice. And if I wanted to, I could just actually take this broccoli and these carrots and set some of this aside for our salad as opposed to putting it all on our stir fry. But that was my plan, was to put it all on my stir fry, so that's just kind of what I'm sticking to. And then we, over here, I'll show you, since it's coming to pressure, our quick cooker has started to steam. You can see a little bit of steam coming out there, and it's getting ready to come to pressure. So right now it is tick-tocking around and around, and then once it goes around and around, it will, once it comes to full pressure, the little red button just popped up, and it's getting ready. Oh, I needed to turn this. There we go. It's getting ready to start counting down. So that is what I want it to do. I want it to start its countdown at 8 minutes and count down. So it actually takes a little bit longer than 8 minutes, but that's okay because I was prepping other things. All right. So what I'm going to do over here is get our stir fry ready. So let's come over here to our chicken and our stir fry skillet. I've got a little bit of oil already in the stir fry skillet before you guys all joined me. I'm going to turn that burner on high and come over here and check on my grill burner to see what's going on. All right. Yep, that feels very suction, which means it's not ready to go yet. So I'm going to leave that. That's getting ready to go. While this is coming up to temperature, we have a few things to prep. The oil is going to get hot. We're going to add the carrots and the carrots, the broccoli, and the red pepper. It doesn't originally call for red pepper. That's one of the things I'm adding in. And then we're going to do some garlic. I eliminated the green onions. Honestly, I forgot them at the store, so I don't really mind about that. And then we're going to have some other stuff to cook in there. So I'm going to wait and do the shrimp. So that's our protein that's going to go along with our stir fry is shrimp. And so I'm waiting to do that tomorrow so that the shrimp is fresh. This quinoa will be totally fine in the fridge until they're ready to eat it. But I figured I can flash the shrimp, no problem. So right now, that's why I've got the 2 different chickens going because they can pick tonight whether they want barbecue chicken or chicken in a wrap because everybody's going to be eating separately tonight. So they can decide what they want. This is how I found it is the easiest to feed teens and tweens and sport playing children and other activities is I just make it. And if they want to heat it up and eat it at 4 o'clock when they come home from school, so be it. If they want to eat it at 8 o'clock for second dinner, they can do that too. All right, so this is getting warm over here, and this is getting ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip our chicken. The pressure has released. There we go. And then we're gonna take our beautiful tongs and just, oh, look how pretty that is. Smells really good too. I'm gonna angle the camera so you guys can see that. Can you see that those beautiful grilled breasts there? Put our press back on there. Ooh, nice and juicy. Okay, so here in the oil, I'm gonna add some fresh garlic. So you gotta have your garlic press and your fresh garlic. I've got a big piece, one right here. With our garlic press, remember, you don't need to take its clothes off. You can leave the clothes right on your garlic. All right, so there's one of our cloves. Squeeze that in there, nice sizzle. All right, and you use the little gray cleaning brush to get that all off. I can now smell the garlic in the oil. It smells beautiful. I'm gonna come over here and we're gonna add in our carrots and broccoli. That was super easy. And then some red pepper. Some of you are thinking I could just eat that all by itself. And I know that's a good little medley right there. All right, now these are our chicken tongs. So we're gonna keep those over there. And I usually have a second set of tongs out here in the kitchen, but because I have a show coming up, it's already packed and put away. So I'm just gonna actually use our teakwood spoon to get this all stirred up and ready to go. All right, let our veggies sit for a minute. So if you like a veggie more than another, you can definitely put more of that in your stir fry mixture. So I'm just gonna do that right now. Now it's been said that a wok is like a pan and a pot mixed together. So maybe they should have thought of a different name, but a wok gives you the sides of a pot, but the cooking surface of a big, nice pan. So it's nice that I can get all those veggies down in there with a little bit of the garlic and get those sauteed up. In the meantime, I am gonna add some salt and pepper. This has probably got a measurement on the recipe, but I'm not measuring today. So get that cooked in there. And I just kind of want it al dente. Like, I don't want it too soft, especially because we're not eating it today. And I want to be able to, when it gets reheated tomorrow, it still has a little bit of that crunch. So let that sit for a minute. Our chicken is doing really well over here. And then what I tend to do with the chicken is after it is cooked and it's grilled, I'm gonna move it actually over to my batter bowl. And with the batter bowl, I'll put it all in here and I'm just gonna chunk it slightly with our salad choppers to give me some nice chunks. I don't want it shredded, I just want it chunked so that I can have it for a couple different things. All right, so let's go ahead and add in, I've got our soy sauce measured out, ready to go into our stir fry back here. And then we're gonna add in, now my kids like a little bit more hot than the recipe calls for, so I'm not gonna measure out the red peppercorn flakes. I'm just gonna kind of do like that. It also calls for a little bit of sesame oil and ginger. So we'll do our sesame oil. And then our ginger. Just gonna sprinkle that in. All right. And I didn't get fresh ginger today. I should have, but I just didn't. All right, so we got our veggies all cooking in there, in the juices. All right, and then the next step is going to be to add in our quinoa. So this is the microwave quinoa that's been sitting in there ready to go. So just be really careful when you open this. There's a lot of steam that builds up. It has been sitting for at least 5 minutes. So that is good because that is, you want to make sure that you follow those directions, because what it's doing is it's absorbing all the broth. So you can see that there's very little broth in there, so that when I add this in, it's just mostly the quinoa. So I guess if your family's not a huge fan of quinoa, you can add rice, but my family really didn't notice a difference. They really liked it. All right, so add in the quinoa, give that a nice stir. And like I said, I'm gonna add shrimp tomorrow, but if your family preferred to do grilled chicken, you could totally take the chicken from over here and add it in there as well. And then I've, of course, got to add our fried egg. I'm not really sure what that is. Must have hit a button on there. All right, so I'm going to let that sit for a minute. I'm going to put that lid on there. Show you guys the chicken right here. Look how beautiful our grilled chicken is. So I'm going to put that in our salad bowl. I'm sorry, my classic batter bowl right up here. Turn off that burner. I'm going to turn down my other burner over here. I'm going to leave that there just because I will clean that off camera. But here you can see our beautiful chicken is nice and hot. And when I take our salad choppers, I'm just going to do a nice chunk. And then that way, when I have it later, it's not shredded, it's just chunky. So it will be really yummy, like on a salad once it cools, and in a wrap if someone desires to have it like that. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that. If you guys can see, I know the steam is really coming through because it's nice and hot. But I hope you enjoyed my quick prep dinner. This was kind of impromptu. And I knew last week with having our ground beef kind of dinners, we had tacos and spaghetti. You might have seen my picture that I did 3 pounds of beef at the same time. It's just easier for me to do one of these types of things where this week it's chicken. So this was 4.5 pounds of chicken split to 2 different ways. Oh, and I forgot to show you the quick cooker. So the chickens get ready to come out of there. I might as well leave you on for another minute. But that way I have the shrimp quinoa stir fry, I have grilled chicken, and then the barbecue chicken is coming up in 1 minute. So let's come over here and show you guys the quick cooker as it comes, the countdown. So I like that this is no warmer than a cup of coffee, so that's why I can touch it and move it. Safety-wise, I don't have to worry about anybody walking by and getting hurt, which is nice. And then one of my kids' favorite barbecue sauces is actually when you take a couple ingredients from home. So we are going to take, let's see, what did I do with the barbecue? All right, so you take some of the, okay, there we go. So I'm gonna let this, let the pressure, so notice this is where the pressure is gonna come out, but my hand is right here. So I don't have to worry about it scolding me when I do that. So it's gonna blow, and that's gonna let all the steam escape. All right, in the meantime, I'm gonna take some of my smoky barbecue rub, put it right in there. Usually everyone has ketchup in their home, so we'll take a little ketchup. Like that. And then the other 2 ingredients are a little bit of apple cider vinegar and a little bit of our brown sugar. So you'll notice in my brown sugar, I've got my little Pampered Chef brown sugar saver, and then that way it keeps my brown sugar nice and soft in there. So I'm going to put some of that in there for a little sweetness. And then, of course, I'll taste this later to make sure it's all good. Since I didn't really measure everything, it's kind of eyeballing. And this will be our barbecue sauce. All right, so now all of our steam has escaped. Our little red button has gone down. And so now it's time to check on the chicken. So there is our barbecue sauce that we'll use for the chicken. All right, I'm going to just put the pressure back there. Open it up, it makes your little R2-D2 sound. This now starts to count down. It's on the warming setting. So now, I'm sorry, it's counting up. And so now it's been sitting there for 1 minute. All right, come over here. And I'm gonna use my salad choppers again. Give them a, now see, this is pretty hot. This is metal, so it's hot. You can see the steam radiating, but I wanted to show you inside here. So you'll see a lot of the broth is still there, plus chicken makes its own broth. And so, because of the moisture that's in the chicken itself. So this recipe is not going to like boil off as much of the broth as some other recipes that you may do. But some people like it really juicy, so they'll shred it in here. I am going to remove some of this and shred it separately. And then that way I can mix in the barbecue sauce and the kids can have them on just regular old potato rolls. So that is what we call our picnic dinner. When we have barbecue chicken sandwiches, I bought them a bag of chips. We have some watermelon, and I'm probably gonna throw some green beans down in front of them because I need a green vegetable. So that, I guess, concludes our prep. So thank you so much for being here to see how we grill chicken, how we do a quinoa stir fry, and how we do barbecue chicken sammies in the quick cooker. Have a great day, guys.